If you don't know much about Adam Fuller or what he will bring to the table as a defensive coordinator at Florida State, it's important you know one thing. The man has proven he can coach a good defense. In his last 2 stops, he was able to improve Marshall's defensive SP Plus 19 spots and Memphis's 47 spots. Bad coaches don't do that. Bad coaches don't coach Marshall into a top 25 defense in the country. So how does he do it? What is his recipe for success? Let's first look at his base alignment. Fuller's base set is a 4-2-5, meaning 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers, and 5 people in the secondary. But what really makes his defense click are these 3 guys. These are his hybrid defenders. They're the Swiss Army knives of his defense. When he needs an extra man in run support or finds himself needing more help in the secondary, he can position these chess pieces any way he wishes. Let's look at them all individually, but before we do that, we need to define a couple terms I will use throughout this video. Instead of aligning his players to the strength of the offensive formation, Fuller tends to align based on where the ball is placed within the hash marks. The wide side of the field, or the side with the most grass on it, is called the field side. The opposite side from the field side, or the short side of the field, we'll call the boundary side. The first player we're going to look at is the boundary side defensive end, or the defensive end that aligns to the short side of the field. Fuller calls him the Fox. Okay, quick quiz. I'll give you a second to try to find the Fox in this clip. As you might expect of any defensive end, one of his primary jobs is to set the edge in the running game. The Fox is also often used as a pass rusher. This is where the similarities to a normal defensive end stop. If you haven't noticed, the Fox usually stands instead of getting into a 3-point stance. This allows him to not only perform the normal functions of a defensive end that we've already discussed, but it also allows him to drop into coverage and help defend the pass. Okay, let's move on to the linebackers. As the name of his base formation suggests, there are 2 true linebackers called the Mike, meaning middle linebacker, and Will, meaning weak side linebacker. In addition to these guys, you have the stud defender, a hybrid defender that usually lines up on the field side of the ball. This player is physically somewhere between a linebacker and a safety. He usually lines up at what is called the apex, which means he splits the difference between the box and the first receiver outside the box. This alignment allows him to come into the box for designed blitzes and run support, and it allows him the ability to be a consistent presence in coverage. Alright, again I'll give you a second to find the stud. In this play, the stud comes up and sets the edge against a read option. After he forces a handoff by staying outside, he crashes inside and makes the tackle. Here the stud drops in coverage and shows why it might be important to put some of your best athletes at this position. The final hybrid defender in Fuller's scheme is this safety called the Bandit. He is usually aligned to the boundary with the Fox. Like his hybrid brothers, this player isn't the typical safety. He will traditionally have a bit more bulk to him and will be expected to be a bit more physical. Let's see if you're getting the hang of this. Try to find the Bandit. In this clip, you can see just how physical the Bandit can be. Watch him come up hard and make contact from the running back around the line of scrimmage. However, he will still have safety responsibilities. Here the Bandit shows his range as he is able to go from the middle of the field and cover 3, which, thanks to the angle I have, you can't see him yet, and get to the sideline while the ball is in the air for an interception. With all of these dynamic players, it allows him to be more aggressive and creative on the back end. One of the staples of his defense is the cover 0 blitz on 3rd down. Cover 0 basically means there's no safety help behind straight man defense. Needless to say, this can be risky, but it forces young quarterbacks to make quick, accurate throws in high pressure situations, which is generally not a recipe for success for the offense. Fuller promises to bring some excitement back into watching FSU defenses. His aggressive style that prioritizes playmakers should fit in well with the athletes Florida State can usually attract. While there will always be growing pains with the new staff, Fuller has proven time and time again that he can work quickly in developing an identity for his defenses, and look for them to come out with something to prove in 2020.